All right, all right. How's everybody doing? Glory to the King. We here, we here, we here. We are here. I hope everybody's doing well. And if y'all don't mind, kind of give me a little radio check there. Let me know how we are coming in. It's important. It's extremely important that we be heard. Hallelujah. We hope that each and every last one of you are doing well out there. We got a few things to cover here today. It's been a long, long time since I have actually been on the broadcast live. It's been an extremely long time. So it's actually good to be back in the saddle here just for a second. It's extremely cold up here at the hub in Tennessee. We woke up this morning, it was 26 degrees outside. And we have quite a few brethren that are out busy doing other things this morning. But we hope you are doing well. I wanted to come on live right here for the sole purpose of being able to stimulate thought. For the sole purpose of being able to stimulate thought. As a matter of fact, we're watching the decline not only of society but our nation as we continue to keep going forward here in this day, time, and hour that we live in. And we're watching people lose it. We have literally civil unrest like we've never, ever seen before. And some of you have not been around as long as I have to understand the type of decline that we're up against. Now, we do have seriously and sincerely spiritual forces that are definitely at hand right here. We never ever before seen it on this level to where people would just literally just succumb to just lawlessness on a whole nother level. It's getting increasingly dangerous for you to even go outside, to even leave the confines of your house and to go out into the public. I really truly don't know. I haven't heard anything in the spirit yet as far as exactly, we know we're closing at the door, but I haven't heard anything in the spirit yet exactly where we are concerning all that. And for those of you who are contributing by way of super chat, thank you very much. Brother Timothy says, for your house building, I will be able to do more soon. Double blessings and honor, shepherd. Well, blessings to you. Thank you, Brother Timothy, for your offering. I think that I put out some time ago how extremely important it is, especially because of the supply chain and what's going on in the world today. Because, it's wintertime now. Now, everybody, they don't grow food in the wintertime like we do here straightway. Straightway, we have, bless you, monkey bastard, glory to the King. We grow kale, broccoli, collards, different types of still lettuces, carrots in our greenhouse. We still have food that we grow year around. And it's about becoming proficient at that. And it's about being able to know that you have a good seed source. Because I tell you, the way things are going, if you don't have any skills to be able to hunt, thank you, Brother Mike. Bless you, my brother. If you don't have any skills to be able to hunt, if you have not spent time developing skills, I try to tell people over and over again, just because you carry a firearm, it doesn't mean you know how to operate it. Just because you go to a range and you shoot at a paper target, it's totally different than live, real action. Just because you shoot at trees and shoot at metal targets doesn't mean you know how to hunt and not proficient, because when you hunt, there's a whole total different dynamic there. You can zero your weapon. You can go out there all day long shooting at metal targets, paper targets, fake deers and everything else. But once that live deer gets in sight and that heart starts pumping and that adrenaline gets to going and you have to stay steady and true on your aim, a whole total different dynamic. And then if you didn't get a good shot on it, you have to have tracking skills, where you have to actually go out and find a deer, and you have to know how to track. And so there's a whole lot. That's the reason why I try my best to motivate people to get out and to be doers of this word. But I think the problem that we're having systemically all the way across the board is not that there's not a wealth of knowledge out here for all of us to obtain to. It's not that there's a shortage of knowledge for all of us to have concerning especially the internet. I mean, there's people out there, that is willing to share with you their knowledge. I mean, they're giving it to you left and right all day, all night long. But the problem is the desire. There's a sincere lack of desire in men today. I know flesh doesn't want to inconvenience itself, but there's a sincere lack of desire. And when you're not wanting it enough, when you don't have enough drive and determination, it's going to be too late. When you're trying to hone in on your skills, it's going to be too late when you're trying to develop your skills when you had an opportunity to do it. When the proverbial bloom goes up. And it is going up. It ain't a matter of if, it's a matter of when. But I already told you months ago, if you haven't already done it, to load up on fuel. For those of us who live on communities, those of us who have followed what the law and the prophets have said and given us the examples of it, we definitely should be ready. But I told you to load up on fuel because the way that this Biden administration is going, I have never seen in all my years of living such buffoonery. I mean, it's almost to the point of comical. You gotta laugh to keep from crying. I've never seen such dismal ignorance on a grand scale and utter stupidity on a grand scale like I have seen with this modern day presidency ran by Joe Biden. This has got to be, sometime I think I'm literally in the man of make believe, because I can't believe that somebody could be in public office that long. And that lets me know either the American people are dislocated, disinterested, or out of touch, or the powers that be has such a stranglehold on the system. I mean, it really, truly is appalling to me. And then when I watch the decline of morality and the way things are going, it's like that, in the book of Revelation, you see, and Satan has come down, having great wrath because he has but a short time. It's like, man, is he already done set up a seat in Washington? I mean, because when we look at the promiscuity, the lewdness, the promiscuous, the debauchery, when we look at the things that are clearly defined as abominations that will send you to hell and cause people to burn, wow, people don't care. They just don't care. Don't have not lost 100% total the fear of Yah. Well, lately, I think that if you don't separate yourself from the people of this land, like the instructions teach us, you're going to be in the same condition. This morning, Brother Jonathan Perez down there in the Dallas, Texas area, he sends me a message by way of text message and by Facebook. And listen to this. See, it's kind of hard for me to believe this. I know it's true. I'm not saying that I can't believe it. I'm just saying it's kind of hard for me to believe it because, I've been so disconnected from the way that the world does things for what? First of all, I've been disconnected. Probably. I would say close to 30 years now. Close to 30 years. Thank you, Anonymous. But then when I actually talk about the practical application, because see, it took me a little bit of time to get to the place where I could actually do it. Thank you from overseas. Hey, family. What do y'all feel about the NFAC? They all but done gone by the wayside now. They were here and now they're gone. You don't hear much about them no more. But I started moving out a long time ago. I started preparing a long time ago, and you have to understand, I have not paid a rent or a mortgage. It's got to be in over 27 years. Easy. 27 years. So I don't know what it means to take the majority of your income and to literally pay for a roof over your head. That's become the norm today. That's the norm here in our society. I think it's pretty much abnormal behavior, because why would you want to turn around and give your hard-earned money to a piece of real estate that somebody else owns? And I know what the trouble and problem is. You see, again, back then I still got the same desire, but I had desire. I had to work 2 or 3 jobs in order to get where I was, and I didn't have no people turn around and give me a bunch of handouts to help me out and everything else. And I'm not saying that there's anything wrong with handouts. I'm trying to show you that, you may hear me speaking about this, but don't tell me that you can't come out and you can't get out, because the amount of money, unless if you're willing to make the sacrifice, that you're paying in rent and mortgage, and there's excruciating high bills that are going on from the gasoline prices and inflation today, that if you did get a raise, it's eating up every single thing. It's eating up your whole substance. But if you made the sacrifice to stack up with a few people that's of like mind, and then y'all split that rent and bring in the majority of that money, you could have years ago been and bought or purchased a nice little acre or 2 plot and build you a nice little simple home on there, and got out of debt, and you could have been free of this, had all kind of food storage. You could have had a lot of things going, but when they have duped and deceived you into thinking that modern day civilization is the way that we're supposed to live, what do you say? What do you say? When they hold all the keys and all the tools and stuff to be able to pull the plug on you at any given time if you didn't prepare. And if you did, like I said before, receive a pay raise, it's all but eaten up with the cost of goods and services now. Have you seen the price of milk and eggs at the store lately? Have you seen the prices of gasoline all across this country right here? I mean, everybody can't afford to put $80 in their tanker and then fill it up every time they go to the gas tank. It's just off the chain. So no, I think that we're in a time where the powers that be are tasting blood. I think that they are making sure that they're trying to control the masses of the people. It's just that the Americans got to understand the one thing that we have is the Second Amendment. And the Second Amendment on paper doesn't do any good if it's not right here. If it's not right here. And these people that make all these laws, they want to be protected from the general public, and they want to pay people to protect them, but they don't want you to be able to protect yourself. I think that's just literal insanity. No doubt about it. But the book teaches us over and over again. Fred Mill, thank you for your support. Support a disabled veteran owned clothing brand, Absolute Freedom Clothing. Blessings. I think it's off of the chain that with all the information we've had, that people still are not moving with fear in order to be able to prepare their house. It makes no sense to me whatsoever at all. You got that right. You got that right. Well, the book teaches us, and I know that everybody, I know the one thing about this world is that as time goes on, and as people see the moral decay, as they watch people become spiritually bankrupt, and they are seeing that people simply have no idea what self-autonomy is, that they're trying to lean and trust in the very thing that is set up for their demise, that is set up to kill them, is set up to destroy them. And I tell you, I tell you. Brother Perez sent me a message about this lady down in, and I think it's in either Dallas or Houston, Texas area. I can't believe this. I can't even wrap my mind around this. Maybe you all can tell me, but I don't know. It's just appalling to me. You mean to tell me that a 1-bedroom apartment in Dallas or Houston runs $1,400 a month? If y'all know this to be true, type in a 1 or something like that. I personally can't believe it, because I know the the medium the medium rate of income. There's no way that you can turn around and live. By the time you pay mortgage, you got a light bill, a phone bill, cell phone bill, car note, gas, car insurance, clothing, food bill. Can you bring me something to drink in here, some water in here? Carol, bring me something to drink. It's just hard to believe. It's just hard to believe that people are living like that today. But if even now, as long as there's breath in your body, if you can just change your mind and develop a desire in you. I mean, nobody can light a fire up under you to get this done. The government is not going to be there for you. We've already seen that. We already saw what America thinks about Americans abroad, especially if they're not in this country. We've already saw it. If y'all not seen it, we saw it. Why has the news media moved on from Americans being abandoned over there in Afghanistan? There are still hundreds, if not thousands, of Americans that are still sitting over there in that third world country under the rule of the Taliban, Americans that have literally been abandoned by our government. And you know what they want to do? They want to continue to keep on talking about one thing and one thing alone. And they do that to try to control your mind. And you know what? It ain't going to take too much more longer for everybody to figure out this news media is nothing but a bunch of damn liars. And the best thing for them to do, because it's all this social media, is just don't watch mainstream news media, because you ain't going to get nothing out of it. And when you stop watching it, the advertisers will stop paying them, and then the advertisers will put more money into the social media platform to where the truthers are, that are not manipulated and coerced by the mainstream news media. Somebody says a 1-bedroom apartment over in Phoenix is $1,900. That is ridiculous. And I noticed that a lot of people who do listen to me, they have moved out of New York. They have moved out of California. They have moved out of a lot of these communist liberal states. Look what's happening in San Francisco. Has anybody been watching and seeing what's happening in San Francisco? Walgreens is shutting up 29 stores in that area. You know the reason why? Because there's no police force. The people are just going into the stores and taking what they want. Not only in Walgreens, the people are not jacking inner city apartments and inner city homes anymore. They're going out into the suburbs, and they're going where the big money is. It's all over Sirius XM. If you have Sirius XM, you could hear a whole lot more than what you hear out here. I promise you can. But the book has had it right from the beginning. The Most High always wanted us as his people to be separate from the people of this land. And the sole purpose of that is so that we don't mingle the holy seed with the peoples of the land. I'll give you an example. Over in Ezra chapter 9, let's read this for a second. I'm going to start at verse 9. It says, "Now when these things were done, the princes came to me, saying, the people of Israel and the priests and the Levites have not separated themselves from the peoples of the land. Now you answer me this question. How many preachers that you know here on YouTube, TV, radio broadcasts, or whatever it is, how many people do you know, preachers out there, that they never ever preach this subject about when you become born again, when you're an Israelite, to separate yourself from the peoples of the land? How often do you hear that? You don't hear that, because if you don't live it, you're not going to preach it. And if you watch preachers tap dance around certain subjects, that's because they're guilty of it themselves. They should get to them pretty soon. But not only in Ezra 9, but over in Leviticus chapter 20, verse 26. I mean, it's been there. 1 Corinthians 15, it's always been there for us to separate ourselves from the people of the land. Somebody need to tell you that once you're born again, your whole mission is to come out of her and be totally separate from the people of this land. As a matter of fact, it says like this, 1 Corinthians 6, come out of her, my people, and be you separate. That has never stopped. And we just got finished reading right here. Now, when the things were done, the princes came to me saying, the people of Israel and the priests and the Levites have not separated themselves from the people of the lands, doing according to their abominations, even of the Canaanites, the Hittites, the Perizzites, the Jebusites, the Amorites, the Moabites, the Egyptians, and the Amorites. Can you believe that? That's like us being Israelites. And we don't separate ourselves from the people of the land. And then we end up doing the same abominations as they do, such as setting up Christmas trees, going to Christmas parades, because we hadn't separated ourselves. And we do after the abominations, going to church on Sunday, eating unclean foods, becoming exactly like the heathens of the land, which we are commanded to separate from. The law says it, the prophet says it, the New Testament says it. But yet and still, you don't have none of these preachers out there telling you that that's what you're supposed to be doing. You're supposed to be separating yourself from the people of this land and try to figure out how to even get more set apart. You're not supposed to soak yourself and immerse yourself with the people of this land. When people don't have any understanding, you know the mindset that they come from, but they don't know the mindset where you come from. And if you don't do what the book tells you to do, then you're going to be under the curses and under the tribulation of this book. And as a result, when people don't separate, now, some people try to preach this as interracial marriage, and that has nothing to do with it at all. I'm amazed at how the majority of people that preach that God allegedly is against interracial marriage. I don't believe that at all. That ain't what the book teaches me. As a matter of fact, the law teaches us and tells us, the prophets tells us, that when a stranger comes and joins into this covenant, he shall be as one that is born in the land. And he's just like you. Because, it's only when white people are speaking in favor of white people and when black people speaking in favor of black people, but it's never, one minute they want to tell you about nationality, but they never ever tell you about when a melanated person that's an Israelite is in union with someone that is the same melanation of skin, but they are Hamite. They never capitalize on that. It's always the melanated people, the Shems, the Shemites against the Japhets. And it's just nothing but old-fashioned racism because it's what your flesh want to hear. But the whole purpose is, it's like me. If I was to go out here and get married to a Christian woman, I would be breaking the law of God. Yeah, the law of God. I would literally be breaking it. Because the God of Israel doesn't teach us to go out here like Solomon did and marry these women of these foreign nations who worship foreign gods. See, we'll be unequally yoked. So I could not go out here and marry a Christian woman that celebrates Sunday over the Sabbath, that keeps Easter, Christmas, Thanksgiving, Halloween, and all these other pagan holidays over Yah set apart and appointed times, his holy feast days. See, that's what he's talking about. Because what happened? What if we was turn around and have children? The children are going to go up confused because mama's going to teach them Christian paganism, satanic Christian paganism. And then here's the father. I'm going to be teaching them the commandments of Yah, and she's going to be teaching them lawlessness. And that's what the book means by be not unequally yoked together with unbelievers. And I know a lot of people don't want to hear that, but that's just the way it is. It has nothing to do with the color of your skin. As a matter of fact, the Bible teaches that a seed produces after its own kind. You don't see orangutans and humans mingling seed and then making out a human. It's just nonsensical. So you're always going to have that spirit of racism in there. It's just crazy. Like I said, why don't the people teach? I mean, after all, Moses married a Hamite. He was a Shemite, and he married a Hamite. Nobody ever says anything about that. See, it's all about racism. And then you, on the other flip side, you have the Caucasians talking about how that melanated people have been cursed with black skin. But when you read the book doesn't tell you that. It tells you the exact opposite of that. So a lot of people are playing mental gymnastics. Mental gymnastics on people. So you have to marry within the faith. And you don't have all these options out here because once you do get married and stuff, and you're in the faith and you keeping the laws, statutes, and commandments of Yah, you're supposed to rear your children and raise them up in there. And of course, when you live set apart, your teaching, your lifestyle, the way you believe, the doctrines that you have, it's totally different than the people of this land. Totally different than the people of this land. You know the reason why? Because whereas if you're in the city, your children will become professionals. They will become professionals at Grand Theft Auto if you're in the city. If you are, let me send a text message real quick. They will teach them how to play John Madden and how to become, worthless. They'll go to public food system, teach them how to get in debt for 20 and 30 years school debt that they'll never be able to pay off, to make them good little workers in that W-2 system. It's just sad. And that's what people do. And why people do it, why people fall for it, is beyond me. It literally just don't make any sense to me, none whatsoever at all. It just don't. Going to college is a waste today. Where are you going to get your jobs from? Where are you going to go to get jobs? The federal government, and they're going to lie to you, give you jobs reports and all this other stuff. They're lying to you. Have you not seen how many people have hiring? They're trying their best to hire people today, and now they can't do it because of all these mandates. Is working in reverse. They thought that you could force comply people, and people just saying forget it. And now you got people stacking up with relatives and parents who already have homes paid off. And now people are being content to live in one bedroom. See, they used to mock people like me when we started off this way. And now they're not mocking anymore. Isn't that amazing? People find themselves in the exact same place that I was 27 years ago, but against their will. I was going about doing this willfully, but it's done become against their will. Amazing, isn't it? Now people are shocked. They are shocked like you would not believe at what they're seeing today. I mean, how much food? Can somebody please tell me if you have 6 months of food stores to where the system could collapse? Listen to me. It's wintertime. The electricity is off. There's no refrigeration system. If the electricity off, that means there's no central heating and air. Could you survive this winter months for 6 months without electricity, without running water, and you have plenty of food for you and your family, the loved ones that are around you, if you could survive, be honest, type in yes. And if you can't do that for 6 months, you are in a bad situation. I'm talking about you can't just run to the grocery store because there's no food at the grocery store. And if I get a whole bunch of yeses on that, I know people are lying. I promise you that. Because there ain't that many people that's prepared. The only people I know that is that prepared are people in Straightway and a few people that follow me on YouTube. You see what I'm saying? You're in a good place if you are able to do just those simple things. You see, the things that people used to esteem extremely high in this world, they have now diminished and become extremely low. I mean, very, very low. Nobody is seeking after those things any longer. Nobody is. I mean, people are getting down now to the bare necessities. Do I have a heating source? And the best heating source that there is a wood stove. Do I have long-term food storage? Are y'all obeying what Pastor Dowell told you to? Every time you go to the store, be on community or homesteads, bring home some type of canned good. You run out of room, build a storage building and keep on storing more. And see, I'm on here telling you all of this because I don't want you to be in this quagmire. Do you have the ability to be able to filter clean water? Now, mind you, listen, let's go to the next stage and think about this. You can't turn on the water to the municipal water supply because they have cut it off. Do you have a water source? Do you have things like a big Berkey? Do you have life straws? Do you have filtration systems to where you can actually produce clean water? Do you have a spring? Are you on a land that has a natural spring and you checked it out and tested and know that it's free of pathogens and parasites and cysts? I mean, do you? Do you? I mean, if you do, yes. If you don't, no. Type it in. Because, see, when I start talking about this, I just got finished looking. Somebody said, Big Berkey? What is that? Go type in Big Berkey on Google. Or Berkey water system. If you don't have one, you should want to get one. See, if you're in the city on a municipal water supply and they cut that thing off, they have 100% control over you. If they stop the trucks from running to this store, they have 100% control over you. And when that belly hit that spine, you talking about forced compliance, you ain't got to worry about it. That is what the book of Revelations is talking about when it talks about, and he causeth all. See, if you're not prepared, if you don't foresee out in the future the evil day coming and you don't prepare, then you have your own demise and your own destruction. You can't do nothing but blame it on nobody but yourself for being apathetic, for being lazy, for being lethargic, for being complacent. I'm serious. Nobody to blame but yourself. Where all these preachers and churches and stuff that's talking about stuff that's a necessity in the daytime and hour that we're living in. I mean, have y'all not seen that there is a food chain supply problem out here? Or are we just waiting? Are we just assuming that there's going to be there on the shelves? Are they going to be there? You've got to have a reliable water source. And your preachers, if they're not doing this, they're sending you to the same destruction that they're going to be. He jumped on his helicopter or jet, whatever he had, and he got up out of there and left all the saints back in New Orleans to drown in the parish. They had coffins floating up on the grounds, snakes and alligators in people's front yards and stuff during Katrina. And he got out of there. And when the water subsided, he came back. They opened up the church. And then he had the arrogancy and the audacity and the unmitigated gall to say, we've been through a lot, y'all. And yet it was nobody but him and his family on that plane getting out of New Orleans. And that's because the hireling flees. And the sheeple are still sheeple. See, a wise man, he prepares himself. He foresees the evil day and he prepares his house. I don't care who they are. Like I said before, people on the internet are exercising memory and talent. You think because they sound good. You need to start paying attention to practical application. Practical application. That's what you need to pay attention to. Are these people that are bumping their gums and flapping their lips, do they really truly believe what they say? Let me see. I hear what they're saying. Let's see if I can find some videos of them actually doing. Let's see if I can find some videos of them doing. Right now, Straightway. For the faithful people that are a part of Straightway. All this winter, we have been getting ready and preparing places for serious-minded people. Mind you, everybody ain't serious-minded. Let me ask you a question. Let's ask another burning question. If you was to be invited on a community or a homestead, can you be told what to do? And if you are a man, do you have dominion and rule and control over your family? To have them to comply to righteous leadership? I mean, can you? Yes or no? Can you govern and rule yourself? Can you be told what to do? Because you will be told what to do. Most people say, oh yeah, I can. Yeah, oh yeah, wait till you get there. Total different dynamic. Total different dynamic when you got somebody in front of you telling you what to do. For instance, yeah, you need it's 11 o'clock. We come knock on your door and you missed your wood shift to keep the homestead warm. And you decided to sleep in and everybody's freezing. And when it's 18 degrees outside because you were too lazy to get up, how long do you think you'll be able to stay with a responsible people like that, making those kind of mistakes? Huh? How long? How long? How long do you think that those righteous people who are serious-minded is going to tolerate inconsistencies coming from you? Can you be rebuked? Can you be reproved? Can you be corrected? Can you be instructed? I mean, wow. You see what I mean? A lot of people have an extremely high, lofty opinion of themselves. They really, truly believe that they're something when they are nothing. No, it's real talk. Yeah, I believe me. Believe me. I need to really, truly press this hard upon y'all. We are lacking desire in this generation for righteous things. We are lacking the desire to be obedient. We are lacking desire to change. It's sad, isn't it? I mean, some of you been communicating with us for years, and you've never been to one feast day. I've never physically seen you face to face. I meet more people out in the general public. I was up in Indiana at Rob's Hall of Fame induction, Ring of Honor induction, and I had somebody walking out of the crowd out of nowhere. Pastor Dowell. Pastor Dowell. Man, keep telling that truth. Keep telling the truth. Gave me a handshake and a hug, man, just to keep telling that truth. I watch you all the time. Isn't that beautiful? Now, hey, it's good meeting people like that, but I want you to be able to get it. I want you to be able to become doers of the word. And our problem today is we have not lamented our condition. Another thing that is sincerely lacking amongst Israel is mental fortitude. We are missing mental fortitude. We're so soft in our mindset. We're so weak in our mindsets. I'm not talking about everybody, because there are some people that's got some strong mental fortitude, strong work ethic, strong character. They're about it. As Rob said, they're 10 toes deep. Nothing gonna shake them. You know, the book talks about everything that can be shaken, it will be shaken. And the things that will be shaken, there's a purpose for them being shaken. It's for them to be taken out of the way. You have to be tested in order to know who you really truly are. Because most of you say that you can receive instruction, be told what to do, but if it goes against what you believe, especially where you are at that time, to be truth, you're going to have trouble. You're going to have issues. There's going to be a spirit that's going to rise up in you. Yep. You can believe it. And there's more people every single day that are falling away. And when I mean fall away, I'll say fall away. They're falling away hook, line, and sinker. They're falling away hard. And what are they going back to? There's nothing to go back to. So let's run this down. Let's get real simple here. How many of you have stored up food? When you heard me talk about that in the last 3 months. If you have, type in me. Type in me. We're talking about food now. Wow. All right. So let's go to the next one. You know, in the winter, I know they use heating oil. Other places, kerosene. How many of you have actually stored up fuel? When I'm talking about fuel, I'm talking about fuel like heating oil, kerosene, diesel if you're on the land, farm diesel, whatever it takes for you to be able to try to heat. If you have, type in the number 3. The number 3 for any type of gas source, you have stored them up. See, what we're doing is we're trying to get a litmus test in here to see how many people are becoming active, very proactive. I don't see many 3s in here. I don't see many 3s at all when it comes to fuel. If you have stored up some type of gas source, type in the 3. Man, I'm telling y'all, and y'all watch these prices go off the chain. Did I not tell y'all the truth about these prices going off the chain? Did I not tell you they was going to continue to consider me go up higher and higher and higher and higher? All right. Let's go to the next one here. All right, let's do a checklist right here. See if we're becoming proactive and have been. How many of you all have a reliable water source besides the municipal water supply? When I'm talking about a water source, I'm talking about you have a well, you have a way to filter water, such as a big Berkey, a life straw, or some other survivalist type means. How many of you are able to do that? If you are able, and you've done, and if you have prepared yourself with a good, reliable water source, type in the letter W for water. Isn't it nice for us to be able to check this out? Isn't it nice? Isn't it nice for us to have a little bit of accountability here? Wow. We're getting a few more people. All right. And see, the purpose of all this is if you haven't done these things, that's where your focus need to be at, because we're we're in survival mode. We're literally in survival mode. You can't depend on other people and everybody else. I'm telling you, you got to be in survival. All right, let's get this one. Let's go to the next one. How many of you are either you have a connection with a homestead or a community or some reliable source of shelter that you know that you have carried your character, your nature, and your spirit in such a good way that even if you had to move into a woodline with somebody, a community or a homestead or somewhere out in the wilderness, and the only thing they could provide for you is a room, that you will be satisfied and content, be it you or your family. If you could do that, type in the number 10. Wow. Man, I tell you. You've got land. Come on. Wow, let's get it. Let's get it. Let's see where we at. Oh, boy. Okay, now watch this. Here's a big one right here. This is a very big one. How many of you know that you need to work on yourself, because you know that if you were invited in the time of tribulation to come to a community, or let's say you would like to come to a community or homestead or a shelter or from some family farm or something like that, how many of you know that you have not worked on yourself and you're just simply not ready, and you wouldn't be, you just would not be a good fit? Type in the number 5. Come on. I want to hear the words. Just give me a 5 in there. Isn't that amazing? Isn't that amazing? See, we got a few honest people here. Now, we're saying all this because you know what? This is something that really, truly needs to be considered. At least if you know that about yourself, it's really, truly time to start working on yourself. Because everything that Pastor Dowell has been saying for the last 20, almost 30 years, it's done flat out come to pass. Listen, let's get this one. How many of you have been listening to me for any length of time, and you can, for sure, you can affirm that I have actually, everything that's going on right now, that I have spoken about this, I have warned you about this, and you have known about this over the years. If you have heard me give warning about what's happening today, and you can clearly see it, comprehend it, and understand, type in the number 7. Say, man, Pastor, I've sit and watched this thing decline over the years. See, what we're doing is we're getting we're trying to gauge ourselves to see how many people are really, really, truly listening. Because there's some of you that support the ministry, and y'all bless you. Thank you. Some of you, as soon as you hear the Sabbath message, Sabbath service, you send an offering by Cash App or whatever it is. Thank the Father for you. I truly do. I'm trying my best to help prepare Israel and everybody who has a righteous spirit, but everybody going to be prepared. All right, here's a big one. Here's a big one. Are y'all ready? How many of you can turn away your natural family when you know that the only reason why that they come to you is just to save their hide? They mocked you. They chided you. They made fun of you. They called you every name under the sun. And the balloon goes up. The shit hits the fan. Now all of a sudden they wants to come to your place and they want to you to take care of them with all your food storage and everything. How many of you can actually turn away your hypocritical family, friends, and colleagues at the door? If you can do that, type in 0. Notice I used the number 0. Because you're going to need some type of character to be able to do that. You are going to need it. Because everybody don't think like us. Everybody's not preparing. You know, I've said it once, said it 1,000 times, that it is the heightened sense of selfishness for someone who you have warned and you have prepared them, and you've been given warning all these years, kind of like Noah, to prepare yourself, prepare your house, get yourself right. Then all of a sudden, everything comes up. The balloon goes up. They know you have been storing food. They knew all of this, and yet and still, they think everything you've done it for them. And they want to come and eat up. They don't want to change their mind. They don't want to change their spirit attitude to comply. They want to come and rule and dominate and expect you to tolerate them. It's selfishness. 100% selfishness. Well, if you don't get out of this city, you're going to have to make the decision. I can tell you that right now. You're going to have to make that decision. That's right. You cannot save everybody. As a matter of fact, the book teaches you to save yourselves over in Acts chapter 2 from this untoward generation. Okay, one more. How many of you are in a position that you can defend your homestead, your community, or wherever you lived, or wherever you live at? How many are in a position to where you can defend yourself for at least 3 months? If you can, type in the letter D. If you can't, type in the letter X. Man, this ought to be something to see, huh? It's very important that you're able to defend yourself. You see, all these things that I'm talking about, when you go out into the world, you'll see that these people's minds, they're all up in the air. They're literally all up in the air. And they're just assuming that this world is going to continue on the way that it is. Que sera, sera, whatever will be, the futures are not ours to see. Que sera, sera, and all this old other good stuff. And is that not a mess? Is it not a mess? Wow, wow, wow. Well, I said that. Let's go one more. One more. And then we'll get off of the survey or the questions, okay? All right. Do y'all have one more? Do y'all have one more in you? If you have one more in you, let me know now. We got one more. All right. Here we go. Here we go. You ready for this one? How many of you are prepared and ready with you and your family to walk 10 miles through mountains, valleys, woods, streams, and rivers for 10 miles? How many of y'all are physically prepared and you can do that with a go bag? If you can, type in R for ready. R for ready. Now, when I'm talking about 10 miles, I'm not talking about a race for 10 miles. I mean that you can physically go 10 miles without saying that you can't, even if it takes a whole day, but you can do it. You see, if you're not, all of these are things you really truly need to start considering. Some people say almost ready. Well, that's good. At least you see, it's good for us to have this type of defibrillator on our mind. Hey, if she's an unrepentant wife, you got to be willing to leave her. Because she's supposed to be following you as you follow Messiah. So isn't it good that we were here on this broadcast today so we can check ourselves to see if we're ready? I mean, we're not racing. We're talking about we're just going through a stroll, but we got to get somewhere for 10 miles. I mean, we got 10 miles to go. The reason why I say that is because if you're living in any type of geographical location, you should be practicing some type of mutual assistance communications and drills. You know, I mean, does the community have your phone number? Do they have your address? Do they know where you live at? Can you communicate with them? Can they communicate with you? I mean, communication is going to be valuable. It's going to be valuable. Do you have a contingency plan? You need a contingency plan. If everybody is able to rally to one house, do we know what to do from there? I mean, there's so much that must be needed and has to be worked on. Because you got to understand, here in this world, this system has us divided. They got us right where they want us at. Divided, fighting each other, arguing with each other, debating with each other, and instead of just trying to be together and survive together. Ten miles seem like a long stretch. It ain't a long stretch if you got 24 hours to do it. Hallelujah. See, my brothers and sisters, we got a lot of things to work on. We have a lot of things to consider. We really, truly do. We have an extraordinary amount of things to work on and consider. The other day, I was on Facebook, and I came across a guy I grew up with in the neighborhood, went to school together. And all of a sudden, the discussion turned to biblical. There was quite a few people who was talking about stuff biblical. He said something to me. I said something back to him based on the Bible, and all of a sudden, he jumps into a spirit and says, "You're not going to force me to believe what you believe." And I told him, first of all, number one, I'm not trying to force you to believe anything. It's just that I can back up with what I say by the book, and all you have is your opinion. And all they did was just get upset and get mad at me. Can you believe it? Why get upset and get mad at me? When you ask me a question, I answer it, and then you don't like it because my answer challenged you to the zenith in your hypocrisy. Something, isn't it? Isn't it something? Boy, my brothers and sisters, we got to do better. We got to do a whole lot better. But I don't expect much out of these people because they're arrogant. They're arrogant. There's a lot of arrogant people, a lot of egotistical people, a lot of self-willed people. And there's a lot of people that's, you got to settle it within your heart. I've been done made up my mind. These people, they ain't planning on changing. They don't have a desire to change. They ain't going to change. And you need to square all this with yourself. Many of you people are going to find out you think your family loves you. You're not your family, but they don't. They love themselves. What they love is what they knew about you. They don't love the new you. They don't love the new regenerated you, because the new regenerated you, it brings conviction upon them. And anytime you're living set apart and you're living righteous, you're always going to bring conviction upon the ungodly in this world. First of all, you have to call the number behind me. If you want to contact anybody in one of our communities and stuff, you call the number that is normally behind me. See that number behind me right there? And you leave a message for Elder Doug. Leave your name, number, and message for Elder Doug. And then if you want to become and be in one of our Sabbath services and just become part of the fellowship and you'll really truly get what I'm saying. You comprehend what I'm saying. It makes sense. You know you need to change. You know you need to repent. You know you need to get closer to the Most High Yah. Call this number right here, 615. Let me move this thing right here. 615-688-3025. Call that number behind me right there. Leave a number for Elder Doug. Let him know what state that you're in. Let him know what state that you're in, and we could possibly put you in connection with one of our home fellowships or our communities. Bless you, monkey bastard. Thank you for your offer, my brother. I will, man. As long as I got faithful supporters like you, man, that hold up my arms like the Israelites held up Moses, I think I'll be all right. I think I'll be able to do it, man. I know I got y'all support me, but y'all's the one who actually speaks to y'all in y'all heart to contribute and give to the cause of the ministry right here, because y'all the ones who help sustain old Pastor Dowell and the ministry of Straightway. Yeah, we have fellowships in Michigan. We sure do. We sure do. Wonderful people. When y'all come to these fellowships, don't come messing up our fellowship. If some of y'all been part of these camps, the best thing if y'all do just sit back and listen to me for a while, because many of y'all messed up. Y'all messed up in your doctrine. You're just so messed up. These camps have done a job on y'all. Done a job on y'all. Well, I've enjoyed my time. Yep, we do have fellowship in Philadelphia. We have a fellowship in Tennessee too. As a matter of fact, our community is in Tennessee. I'm sitting in Tennessee right now. Oh, no. We got out of Chicago years ago and ain't going back. That's one of the cities I've been telling people, get the hell up out of there. But if you're in Chicago, I think you're about 3 hours. We have a fellowship in Wisconsin that if you're willing to drive maybe once a month to go meet the saints and fellowship there. But you can always see this YouTube channel and this website right here. I am on every Friday night from 7 p.m. Central Standard Time until I'm done on this broadcast live. Sure be nice to have you. For sisters, that's women. We have a Sisters to Sisters broadcast every Thursday night from 6 p.m. until I'm done. Yes, we have a fellowship there in Florida too. Sure do. These are home fellowships. We have communities in some places, Florida's home fellowships in others, and they meet together. Like our home fellowship down there. Oh, and hey, Daniel said if you're 2 hours away from Indy, look at there. We have a community that you're 2 hours away from. Y'all just have to call this number right here, and we'll put you in contact with that's the way we do things, with our leaders in these prospective areas. Because we want people. I mean, it's a joy to sit there and watch people get close to Yah. It's a joy to watch people get delivered and set free and be transformed. And we have righteous men in authority in these places that can lead and guide you to the right place and stuff, and you be at the right fellowship. And I'll tell you what, it's just like a family like you never have ever seen before. Never seen before. It just be, oh no. All of our fellowships as was in New York. Chicago and New York and California, we pretty much done got them all out. All of them done got out. So I told y'all, man, when people take serious what Pastor Dowell is saying, and we get out of these communist states in these areas, we out. Well, if you're serious about that, by the way, our Sisters broadcast every Thursday, 6 p.m. Central Standard Time until we're done on blogtalkradio.com/straightway. All this stuff is usually down in my descriptions on my YouTube channel, so you don't even have to miss nothing. We also have our elders. They're on every first day. That's Sunday evening, 6 p.m. until they're done. And then, of course, we have the big one, which is Sabbath service, Shabbat service. It's on this channel. It's on that Straightway Truth. You look at all the stuff down in the description. It's all there. You want to do that? Check this out. 11 a.m. Central Standard Time. Sabbath service until we're done. You can actually see our whole entire live broadcast. Sabbath morning or Saturday morning. Glory to the King. Of course, we have a bunch of YouTube channels that you can look at our archives in. All kinds of stuff. Well, anyway, I have enjoyed y'all immensely. I have to go. I've got to get a lot of things done. I have to get a lot of things prepared. I appreciate each and every last one of you. If you enjoyed this broadcast, why don't you type in yes. If you didn't, type in no. I mean, we hate a false balance. Y'all hate a false balance, but we need to know either way. But I'm glad that each and every last one of y'all are here. But we're going to be getting after it. Thank y'all for your donations. Thank you for your prayers. Thank you for your support. And thank you for participating and being honest and truthful. At least you can actually weigh where you're at. Also, every Friday night, immediately after my broadcast, is the Lion's Den. The Lion's Den. Brother Daniel Muir. He's on it. You can type in Daniel, M-U-I-R. M-U-I-R. Every Friday night about 9 p.m. Central Standard Time, immediately after my broadcast, the Lion's Den is on. I thank each and every last one of you for being here. Y'all stay tuned. I'll be making more videos as usual. I've been making an extraordinary amount of videos on Patreon. So if you want, consider to come on over to my Patreon, become a Patreon member. You can do it for as little as $1, or you can donate and be a faithful contributor all the way up to $100. You have $1 level, $5 level, $10 level, $20 level, $50 level, $100 level, or whatever you want. I mean, I have one guy, he gives $1,000 a month because he says, I love this ministry. Glory to the King. But yeah, we're getting places prepared for righteous people so we can move them on the communities and homesteads with us as we prepare for the economic collapse that is going on right now in this country, and as we prepare for that great day of the King to come. I bless you all in the sweet and precious and victorious and mighty overcoming name of our soon coming King, Yahshua HaMashiach, Jesus Christ. I want y'all to stay tuned, okay? Hallelujah. Y'all be encouraged. Let me, well, I can't remember what the outgoing was. Intro, Straightway logo, monitor. Anyway, y'all be encouraged, okay? We are out of here. Ooh, that ain't it. That ain't it. That ain't it. That's